Gyarados, the atrocious Pokemon. Not so terrifying when he's taking a bath, but get it on the battlefield, and this thing is a monster. How's it going, guys? My name is Just Weavile, and welcome to my channel where we try to bring out the potential in every Pokemon available. Gyarados is an interesting Pokemon with the water-flying type combination, a large 125 base attack, and a subpar speed of 81. And for this video, I just went ahead and maxed out the EVs on both those stats with a jolly nature. Today we're running my favorite sweeping moveset of all time on Gyarados, and it goes a little something like this. We have our boosting move in Dragon Dance, which when used boosts your attack and speed by 1 stage. Then we have Waterfall for Water Stab, Earthquake for ground coverage, and finally Scale Shot, a multi-hit move paired with the Loaded Dice item which lowers the user's defense but also boosts your speed even further. Combine this with the ability Moxie, which boosts your attack after KOing a Pokemon, and it can snowball out of control very quickly. Oh yeah, we're Terra Dragon as well for the extra kick for Scale Shot's power. Are you looking for like-minded Pokemon players to battle, trade, and just have a chill time with? Well, I got you covered. Join the Pokemon Battle Hub Discord server by clicking the link in the description. It is completely free to join. But anyway, with all that out of the way, let's jump into the first game. Okay, my opponents have got a really cool team. It looks more like a VGC team than a singles team, I guess, because the Incineroar and the Amoonguss and stuff. But big threats, obviously Garchomp's a threat. Naturally, Tyranitar as well with that Sandstorm, especially if they're a Sandvale Garchomp. Primarina is going to be tough to take out, but I think Gyarados could put some serious work in if we can get rid of like Corviknight, especially. So I think what I might do here is, because it outspeeds everything on the team, I'm just going to lead off with our Cyclizar, and then I can just like U-turn on whatever they bring in, because I'm not sure what they lead with here. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. They're going to lead off with the dog, which is going to be the Incineroar, as I led off with Cyclizar. So this is not too bad of a switch, to be fair. Now, obviously, Gyarados can't come in freely here. We're probably going to get intimidated and then sent back out the eject pack, but at least that means we get to switch in wherever we want on the Incineroar. So this is actually a decent lead. There's the Intimidate, of course. Excitebac's attack's going to drop. Going to prop the eject pack, which is fine by me. It means we get a free switch into whatever we want, and we don't have to worry about Intimidate. So naturally, I want to go into Gyarados, but they could definitely burn us. So I'm leaning more towards maybe Gardevoir, go for a Moonblast or a Trick. We could also go Magnezone because we will outspeed. I don't want to get knocked off with you, and you are weak to fire. So, I mean, I'm going to go into Gyarados anyway. So we're going to Savaloy, the nice and shiny Gyarados. I got this Gyarados on the Lake of Rage when I was EV training HP against Dondozos. And it just like, it was my second shiny on the Switch too, and I just love it. So anyway, let's go for a Waterfall straight up. They actually go for a Fake Out, which is fine. It's going to make us flinch, of course. But we stayed in, so they're probably thinking, okay, we got to get out of here. They're either going to go for a Will-O-Wisp or a Parting Shot if they do live. But I don't think they can take a Waterfall necessarily. I personally would say their best bet's to go into a Amoonguss, but let's see what they do here. They do, in fact, go into Gonzalez, which is going to be the Primarina. That's also a good switch because it's resistant to my Stab Waterfall. You don't normally see Stab anything else, you know. Anyway, so what's my best option here? Moonblast is probably coming my way, or a Psychic Noise. I think my best bet is you. Like, they don't really have they have got a ground type in Garchomp, but Magnezone could work. I think Porygon 2 is probably my best bet, so I'm going to withdraw Savaloy the Gyarados, and I'm going to go into our nice and shiny Porygon 2. This was like one of my first shinies I caught on this save. Great. So we're going to trace the Liquid Voice. The Liquid Voice, interesting. As they go for a Calm Mind. That ain't good. But this thing doesn't get recovery, as far as I'm aware. It might get Draining Kiss, but I doubt it has it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Thunder Wave it first, just so that we can get the Paralysis chance. And then also because I can bring Chestnut in and definitely outspeed this way and go for a Seed Bomb. So they are a Throat Spray variant as well with Hyper Voice with Liquid Voice, which is cool. We go for that Thunder Wave, that's fine. Now, like I said, we can just go into our Chestnut and we can Seed Bomb it now, which is really nice. So, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for a Tri Attack now. We should outspeed here. We do outspeed. Tri Attack should do a little bit of damage, nothing too drastic. And they get fully paralyzed, which is fantastic. So Porygon 2 is putting in the work right now, which you love to see. You just love to see it. I don't really have any other options other than staying in and going for a Tri Attack now. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Just spam Tri Attack, whittle away at this Primarina. There's the Hyper Voice again. And like literally like looking at their squad, I don't really need Porygon for anything on their team. So I'm happy to go for a tri-attack here. Like so. And then they go for a Moonblast, which is going to KO my Carompt. So that's fine. Again, Porygon 2 going down here is not the end of the world. We can definitely deal with that. I mean, I could have recover stalled. But I ain't about that. I ain't about stalling. I know it's a legitimate strategy and all that, but I'm not about that. So anyway. Best bet is probably going to be Magnezone with the Flash Cannon. It should KO from here. And I say Flash Cannon because there's a good chance they'd bring Garchomp in. Actually, no, Magnezone is the best bet. So we'll go into Terbium. Like so. We float in the air with the air balloon. We do outspeed. And even if they go into Garchomp, they can't touch us. So let's go for a Thunderbolt. They do withdraw Primarina. They're going to preserve it, which is an interesting choice. It'll be Moxie Bait for my Gyarados later, which is cool. They're going to go into Yope, which is the Garchomp. Again, not too bothered about this situation. They're going to go first, but they can't hit us with an Earthquake. So we can just go for a Flash Cannon and be boosted by Analytic. They actually go for a Dragon Claw, which does no damage. Let's see how much this Flash Cannon does. I'm really curious after Analytic, because Magneton's got a really good special attack. It's a 2-shot, which is good, but they're going to go for an Earthquake now, which we don't really want. So I'm going to go into Chestnut now, just because I know we can take any hit from this Garchomp, no problem. And it's nice to know that our Scale Shot variant as well. So we can definitely outspeed it with something else later. So we're going to Pinwheel, like so. They do go for the Dragon Claw again, which is interesting. Maybe they're choice locked. I don't know. Potentially. So we're setting up here, which is nice. We're setting up a good situation for Gyarados. For sure. Did we get any damage off of the Incineroar? I don't think we did we? The T-Tar shouldn't be a problem. We get a Moxie first. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm just going to get the health recovery back. I'm going to go for a Leech Seed because there's a good chance they switch out anyway. They do withdraw. What are they going to go into? The Incineroar? That would work. Probably. Bird. Oh yeah, Corviknight makes sense as well. Oh, it's nice and shiny as well. Gotta love it. We go for that Leech Seed. There we go. That's going to sap away its health a little bit. I could stay in and take a Brave Bird like a champ, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just get the Leech Seed recovery for this one turn because it'll recover most of our remaining health. Yeah, there we go. And now what I can do is I can make a bluff here. So I'm going to go into Magnezone. Now, if they haven't already figured out that the Flash Cannon damage earlier was Analytic boosted, they're certainly going to find out. There's a good chance they might think we're Magnet Pull. So there is also a good chance they go for a U-turn here, or just switch out themselves. They're expecting the Magnezone. That's why. Bet Garchomp comes in. Oh no, Incineroar. No mind. I mean, whatever. Intimidate comes through. That's fine. We go ahead and switch out into whatever Pokemon we want to go into, which is Magnezone. Obviously, we made the switch already. Terbium comes in. I love Magnezone. It's so cool. I don't really care about this situation too much. If I can outspeed here and get a Volt Switch off, that'd be ideal. But if I don't outspeed and I die to a Flare Blitz, at least we get the recall damage for Gyarados, which would be nice. So they go for a Parting Shot, which is very interesting. So Parting Shot is a very interesting move. If you didn't know what it did, it lowers your attack and special attack and then switches you out like U-turn. So it's a really good move to have on Incineroar. All right, Roadman comes in. That is the T-Tar. Gets that Sandstream up, which is fine. We go for that Volt Switch on the Switch, which is great. So I'm kind of glad they... Oh, that was an Analytic boosted Volt Switch. And I know Parting Shot's a thing, but like that's an Assault Vest Tyranitar if I've ever seen one. So I'm leaning to... I don't know what to do here. I'm leaning towards you. Go for a Draco Meteor, but again, it's clearly Assault Vest. We could also go into our Gardevoir. That's an option. I think I will go Gardevoir. I mainly just want to weaken this Tyranitar, pretty much. To the point where I can get a Scale Shot off and then also get a Moxie boost. That's kind of where I'm going with this. So Sandstorm's obviously going to affect us, unfortunately. And now I'm going to go for a... They don't really have a switch into Moonblast other than the Corviknight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Trick here because I know this thing's either going to be not AV and I'm just undercalcing it, and then it's going to Dragon Dance, or it's AV and I want to get rid of that AV if I can do, and potentially lock them into a move that won't affect my one of my Pokemon. So that'd be great. They do withdraw a Roadman. Is it Corviknight coming in? Gotta be Corviknight, right? Gotta be Corviknight. Walter. As the Amoonguss. I mean, tricking this thing a Choice Scarf ain't too bad, to be fair. I'm down with this. I'm down with this. So, Choice Scarf's there. It's obviously, we got a Covert Cloak, which is interesting. Very interesting. This is the one thing that's kind of scaring my Gyarados a bit as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to severely weaken this thing by going for a Psychic. I think that's the way to go forward, just to weaken it. And then we're going to let Gyarados play late game cleaner, as that nearly takes out the Amoonguss in one shot. They go for a Spore, unfortunately. And let's see what happens here, because they're going to go down to Sandstorm. But what would they bring in? Have they got a Settlemon? I don't think they do. So down goes the Amoonguss anyway. That's great. Always good to see. All right, Bird comes in. That's going to be the Corviknight. So we know this thing might have Iron Head. Probably doesn't. Probably has like Brave Bird or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and weaken it with Mystical Fire. I don't really need Gardevoir per se, really. So I'm obviously fast asleep for one turn. But if we can live a hit and then potentially wake up the next turn, that'd be ideal. But Bulk Up comes through, which is very good. My opponent. That is such a good play. It's a Bulk Up Corviknight. That's awesome. You love to see it. So let's see if we can wake up and go for a Mystical Fire. We are unfortunately fast asleep still, but if they want to go for another Bulk Up here, that's absolutely fine by me. We still have the Magnezone in the back, which outspeeds, so I'm really not worried about this at all, because I know Magnezone can just Thunderbolt in the face. Sandstorm does subside, which is nice. We go for Mystical Fire. Let's see if we can wake up this turn. We wake up, which is nice. Mystical Fire is going to come through. It's going to do some nice super effective damage. Takes it down to half. They do have a Mirror Armor ability, which makes sense because I didn't see the Pressure or the Unnerve prompt come up. So they are a Citrus Berry variant too. Interesting. So a +2 Brave Bird should knock me out here. It does. But like I said, we've got the Magnezone in the back. And Magnezone here should outspeed. They get the recoil, obviously. I mean, yeah, Magnezone should be outspeeding here, but I could be wrong. It depends what set I am. Let me have a look real quick. So we're max HP, max speed, but at least in this instance, I'm going to go for a Volt Switch. They go for a Roost. Oh, that's a good one. At least we get the analytic boost here, though. Let's go for a Volt Switch. I'm guessing they don't have Body Press. Well, that did a decent chunk of damage, to say the least. Do I have anything to get around this, though? That's the real question. So, we could go with Chestnut. Let it get some serious Brave Bird damage. I think that's probably the best way to go about this. So, we're going to go to Pinwheel now. And I'm going to go for a Leech Seed, just because they might Roost here, but they're more than likely just Brave Bird, which is going to give them some massive recoil and Rocky Helmet chip. So, I'm not bothered about Chestnut going down here, because at the end of the day, this Corviknight has been severely weakened here, which is fantastic. And that's kind of what we're going for. There we go. It's really weakened. We know Gyarados will take it out. So I'm going to go into Gyarados now. So Savaloy comes through. And this could be the turning point for Gyarados. Because they do have their whole team pretty much full, except from the Amoonguss. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for the Scale Shot so I can get that boost. It should KO. But I'm going to Terra Dragon Scale Shot just in case. So, and if I miss, I miss. If I miss and it screws us over, it's whatever. So we're going to go ahead and Terra into a nice and powerful Terra Dragon type. And then we're going to go for that Scale Shot, which should, even though they're at +2 defense, it should still KO. Because we're going to hit 4 to 5 times with a load of dice. There's 1. 2. Come on. Please be enough. It is enough, right? Barely. Right, there we go. So 4 hits barely did it, but that's good. That's good. That's I knew it would KO, but I wasn't sure how close it would be to the 5 mark. So we hit 4 times. Bird fainted. We get that defense drop, which sucks, but we also get a speed boost right now, and we get a Moxie boost. So Gyarados looks like it's ready to go. 12 minutes into the game, Gyarados finally hits the field and does something useful. Gonzalez comes in, which is the Primarina. Now, I get to use one of my other moves. I'm going to go for an Earthquake here. Try and get off that another Moxie boost so that if the Incineroar comes in and gets an Intimidate off, we're still at +1. So Primarina goes down right there. I would have personally gone into the Incineroar here to get the Intimidate, just so that I wasn't such a big threat. But now Gyarados is on a roll, so I can't really complain. All right, Roadman comes in. The Tyranitar. So we're at +2 attack. I'm pretty confident. See, the thing I'm worried about is they haven't Terra'd yet. So I'm going to go for a Waterfall, just because it's a super effective stab move. And it should be able to KO the T-Tar from here, depending on what Terra they might have. If they do Terra. Have they already Terra'd? I don't think they've already Terra'd. So we should be all right here, depending on what Terra this Tyranitar is. I would have assumed it would Terra there, but it obviously doesn't. So we get the nice Waterfall off, which is fantastic. They clearly don't have a Terror type that can stand up to this Gyarados, and I think they've just gave up because once Gyarados gets going, there ain't no stopping it. All right, you ain't stopping this Savaloy. And Yoop comes in, which is the Garchomp. Do I want Rocky Helmet Rough Skin damage? I'm going to go for the Earthquake just so we don't take any extra damage on there. Earthquake comes through. I mean, there was always the chance they'd Terror there, but why would you Terror if you've got no health left? I'm guessing the Incineroar is Terra Fairy. Again, I would have brought the Incineroar in way before this, personally, but, you know, not everyone's going to play perfectly. We're not robots at the end of the day. We're all just people. We play, we make mistakes. It happens. But Gyarados, just, mwah, chef's kiss. The dog comes in. Or T-Dog. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce names. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go for a Waterfall. I'm going to end it with a nice, powerful signature stab move from Gyarados. I know it's not his signature move, but it's like, you know, when you think of Gyarados, you think of it like swimming up a waterfall, like in the anime. So, I don't know. They go for a fake out. Last ditch effort of getting some damage off on us. We do flinch and we are buffed by the sandstorm, so it has brought us down to yellow. It was a good attempt, but I'm afraid Waterfall's going to KO this Incineroar unless they forfeit, of course, which they might do. They might not want to give me the satisfaction of sweeping with Gyarados here, a little late game sweep. We go for that Waterfall. They do give me the satisfaction, and that's a dead Incineroar if I've ever seen one. And that's going to be the game. It was a crit as well. We've got to end it on a crit, right? But anyway, great battle to showcase Gyarados. GG. I can't pronounce your name. Gilex? I don't know. GG anyway.